So, Khalsa we're here today to talk about the incident that happened the other day in a football match with a fellow Sikh by the name of Charan Singh Basra. And today is our first live, and we've decided that will be the topic for today. And we did put out a message to some of our AK media team that we will be doing this broadcast at 6 p.m. So it's coming up to 6 p.m. now, but we just started a little bit early to make sure that the audio and everything else is working correctly. And the thing is that we were messaged by so many people regarding this issue, which did occur a couple of days ago, like I said before. And we kind of got it together, and we decided, you know what, we need to take action. So hence why we've kind of come out on here today to just talk about that. Um, so just bear with me. So I think a couple of people are joining us. One of the persons that will be joining us is Sunny from AK Media, who is a, let me just get a bit closer, sorry. It's the first time we're doing it, so let me off easy today. Sunny should be joining us today, who's part of AK Media. So let's see. Um, let's see where he is. Let me just message him and try to get him on here. I think everyone's new to this, so just bear with us. We are working on it. We're trying to learn it. You know, a lot of people are doing it, and it might be easy for them, but for us, it's the first time. We have only decided to do this because of public demand. People have messaged us. They have asked us to do podcasting. We go to the streets. That's what we normally do. We talk to the public, but due to public demand, um, we have decided that we need to start doing this. And there's some real topics out there that we want to talk about, some real issues, and it's something that we want to be keep doing, but that something we want to keep doing, because obviously it creates awareness. And so the, let's just hope some people join us today. Hopefully Sunny's joining very soon. um and not only that, with racist attacks just recently, there's been a couple. One was a young Sikh boy who was attacked, I believe, in Bristol. He reached out to our page, and he spoke to us, and he told us that, this is what happened to me, and he posted a video about it as well. And we kind of pushed that video out so people could know that that had happened, and that our community would have to react to it. And I think Sunny has joined us. Yes, Sunny. Why did you go Khalsa? Why did you go Fateh? One second.
Hey, just with one of the other brothers as well, Camera.
Why did you go Khalsa? Why did you Fateh?
Why did you call out? Why did you put it?
Sunny, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
So I was, as we just started the podcast, and I've told the viewers what we're going to be talking about today. Who we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Jalan Singh Basra, who's a footballer, semi-pro, plays for Langford FC. They were playing against Bedford, Real Bedford, and he got, there was a bit of a bit of an argument on the pitch. And at some point, the guy that was by the guy that was playing on the opposite side decided that he, could pull Jalan Singh's patka from the back. And what's your views on it? You've seen it on the news, and you've thought, what the hell's going on here? It's not, this is not normal. And plus, it's not a big thing. Sorry, it is a big thing, because we don't have many Sikh footballers out there. and out of nowhere now this has happened, and it's just very saddening because we hardly got any reps in the football in this football in the teams and stuff. So I mean, we got the referees. There's a couple of things that have been referees before, and I've seen them on the media and stuff, and it's a proud moment. But when something like this happens to probably one of the first Sikh footballers, it's kind of very alarming and distressing for the community. What's your thoughts on it, Sunny?
I feel like it's an experience that can be very off-putting because, as you did mention, that firstly, there's not many Sikhs that are footballers that make it to that professional level, as it is hard for them as it is, and it can be disheartening for the youngsters that are coming up that in that field that they want to play football, become professional. They will have the talent, but due to the circumstances where it's not getting taken serious, it is quite off-putting if you check it from their angle.
Why do you think Jordan Brown, the guy that pulled his Patka, done that? I mean, what could be the reason behind it? Do you think that was, a lot of people would think that it was like a racist attack? Some people could turn around and say, "Oh, maybe he was just trying to do a little jokey thing on him," like But to us, obviously, that it wouldn't be a joke, would it? And
Of course
I'm
not.
pretty sure. I'm pretty sure Jordan Brown is aware of the Sikh community because everyone is in the UK pretty much, and it's not like we've only come here recently. We've got Sikhs that have been living here for like 70, 80 years. Plus,
Yeah,
they served in the World War I and World War II. So it's not like even new faces around the block. What do you think? Do you think it was a racist attack?
I feel like it was. It looked malicious, and it's like he was smirking as well.
Yeah.
As soon as he got a reaction from Jordan, and I feel like yeah, it was racist. Like it did seem racist because at the end of the day, because everyone knows what Patka is, everyone knows why Sikhs cover their hair for what reason, the importance of geese as well. So I fail to understand if it's something that didn't come with any intent that's not malicious. So is this legal licensed by FA?
So I think we will understand that it was a racist attack. There's no real kind of okay, it couldn't have been a racist attack. He can turn around and say it wasn't, obviously, because he doesn't want to be called a racist. But there's
Yeah,
no other reason for him to be attacking
exactly.
someone else's religious symbol, and especially the turban and the patka itself. In many cases, it has always been attacked. If you're going to attack a Sikh, and just I think last year there was a police officer up in the Midlands that attacked a young Sikh, a chap
Yeah, took
that
his
was
vodka
taken
off.
in. Yeah, he was taken into custody, and they took his butt off and they chucked it on the floor and they stamped on it. Um, and the police themselves then obviously tried to cover it up, and then they were exposed by a lot of locals that went down, and they kind of surrounded the police station.
Yeah,
And it's so. What do you think the FA needs to kind of uh, what sort of action do they need to take about it? I mean, the FA is, they need to do something about it. They need to come out and speak about it. So far, the only newspaper that's actually come out and spoke about it is the Daily Star, and
yeah,
they've only published that article just maybe about a couple of hours ago, and I read it and I was just thinking, oh yeah, you know what? Is this all we're gonna get? It's such a big issue to us, but no one even like kind of cares about it because they haven't publicized it in any way. No awareness has been created about it. If
yeah.
we're going to be tackling these sort of problems within the community, then awareness is something that would be key to it. Telling people, this isn't acceptable in any sport. Sunny,
Hello.
yeah,
Oh, sorry about that. Just was. Yeah, I feel like the FA they need some sort of education on the importance of Sikh symbols, so such as a case, why we protect our case, why we cover it, as in that, and they need to educate footballers as well within the FA on how to behave with other, not just with Sikhs, but how to behave with everyone from different faiths, so these type of things don't happen again. And I feel like footballers, they need that education in the wider public as well.
yes. I mean, he made a statement. Basra did. He goes. Charanjit Singh Basra goes. He goes that he made it to UB1, UB2, which is like a online social media website, and he goes that it's semi-pro and that referee should know what a patka is, what a
Exactly.
religious symbol is. It's just common knowledge nowadays. Like, you know what I mean? It's he wouldn't be wearing it just for the sake of it. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure that maybe what could it be possible that the referee could be on it as well? He knew if
Yeah.
he knew about it, he could have just
Very
turned a
much.
blind eye to it, and he's given him
Yeah.
two cards and told him to get off the pitch.
Yeah.
Without any regard for the fact that there was more to the story. Why would someone just go out and just push somebody like that? It's just he didn't
Just
bother investigating it or anything like that. No.
I've just got Canna that wants to make a point as well.
How you doing, Jessa? You right?
Yes, Kanwa. How you doing, brother? You right?
I'm good. I'm good. I just want to say one thing, right? The FA always say no to racism. You see it all around the Premier League grounds, right? Yeah, how Black Lives Matter, say no to racism. You saw in the World Cup how they took the knee for certain situations, right? You saw Germany, how they took the knee against all the crimes against the working people to make the stadiums in Qatar, right? So footballers do take a stand. So the referee was definitely in this, because instead of sending off Charanjit, yeah, he should have sent off the other player.
So yeah, I mean, like when it comes to other people, other communities, it's they always speak up and that. But when it's come to the Sikh community, once again, there's like a silence. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes, 100%. And to be honest, it's good that we're raising awareness for this. I think, I'm not going to go too much into it, but so I'm a fan of Amritpal Singh, right? And he says, right, this is a nishani of Galami, yeah, that we can't even stand up for our own rights.
True.
Right? That our community goes quiet on these situations, right? Because we're so used to getting oppressed, right? This ain't nothing new to us. That our people honestly think it's such a minor topic.
Sorry, Bob, I got a call coming in from a viewer. So can we just get them in on this?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, you're live on AK Media. Who are we speaking to?
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਫਤਿਹ ਦੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਪਾਈਏ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਮੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਸੁਰਜੀਤ ਕੌਰ ਹੈ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਮੈਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੰਸਲੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ।
ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪੈਟਰੋਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਰੋਡ ਤੇ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ AK ਮੀਡੀਆ ਚੈਨਲ ਰਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਦੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਅੱਜ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਾਈਵ ਦਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਆ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਜਿਹੜਾ ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਆ ਉਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਵਧੀਆ ਆ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਹਨਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਮਾਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਲੋਕ ਆ ਨਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੋਟੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ। ਅਦਰਵਾਈਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਰੇਸਿਸਟ ਅਟੈਕ ਆ ਉਹ ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਰਹਿਣੇ ਆ। ਉਹਨੇ ਪਲੇਅਰ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਉਹਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਪਿੱਛੋਂ ਨਾ ਧੱਕਾ ਮਾਰਿਆ, ਅਦਰਵਾਈਜ਼ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਫਿਰ ਹੋਰ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਪੈਣੀ ਸੀ ਜੇ ਵੀ ਉਹਨੇ ਉਹ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਾ ਲੈਂਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਧੱਕਾ ਮਾਰਨ ਵਾਲਾ ਨਾ। ਸੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ, ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਕੰਪਲੇਂਟ ਹੋਣੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ, ਜਾਂ ਸਾਰੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਪਲੇਅਰ ਨਾਲ ਏਦਾਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੋਇਆ। ਇਸ ਕੰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਆ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਜ਼ਰੂਰ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਕਾਮਨ ਅਕਰੈਂਸ ਹੈਗੀ ਅਟੈਕਾਂ ਦੀ? ਕਿਦਾਂ ਅੱਜ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਅੰਕਲ ਭਾਈ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਮੈਨਚੈਸਟਰ ਮਲਾਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਉੱਥੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ, ਨਾਲੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਹਸਪੀਟਲ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ। ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਅਟੈਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਾੜੀ ਕੇਸ ਕਰਕੇ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਕਾਮਨ ਅਕਰੈਂਸ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਅਟੈਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਤੇ?
ਇਹ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਡਿਪੈਂਡ ਕਰਦਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਏਰੀਏ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ। ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹਨਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਵਾਈਟ ਪੀਪਲਸ ਦੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਕੋਈ ਬੰਦਾ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਲਾਈਕ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨਾ, ਬਿਕੋਜ਼ ਉਹ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਲੋਕ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਆਲੇ ਆਸੇ ਦੁਆਸੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇਬਰ ਹੋਣ ਹਨਾ, ਤੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਅਟੈਕ ਹੋਣੇ ਪੋਸੀਬਲ ਆ ਹਨਾ। ਜਿਹੜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਲੋਕ ਆ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਾਊਥ ਹੋਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਆ, ਸੋ ਉੱਥੇ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਘੱਟ ਆ, ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਸੀਰੀਅਸ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਹਨਾ ਐਕਸ਼ਨ ਲੈਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਜਿੰਨੇ ਵੀ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਮੇਟੀਆਂ ਆ ਨਾ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਤੇ ਹਨਾ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਨਵੋਲਵ ਕਰਕੇ ਇਹਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜਸਟਿਸ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਤਾਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਅਸੈਪਟੇਬਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ।
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਮੈਸੇਜ ਦਾ, ਨਾਲੇ ਕੋਲ ਇਨ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਸਟੇਸ਼ਨ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਕਰੋ, ਨਾਲੇ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਕਰੋ। ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸਪੋਰਟ।
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਲਾਈਵ ਹੋਊਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੂੰਗੀ। ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਓਕੇ ਜੀ, ਬਾਏ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
Anji, we've got Nashatra Gill who's just joined us as well. And we've got who's coming in again once again. Sorry. Anji, Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
ਜੀ ਫਤਿਹ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਤੇ
Anji,
ਮੈਂ ਤੇ
कौन बोल रहे हैं
ਹਾਂਜੀ
Anji?
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਨਾਮ ਕਰਨੈਲ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ
Karnail Singh Ji, Anji.
ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੇ ਇਹੀ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ
Anji.
ਇੱਕ ਐਸਾ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਆ ਜਿਹਦੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਆ
Anji.
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸੋ ਕੋਲਡ ਇੱਥੇ ਬੜੇ ਫਿਰਦੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਲੀਡਰ
Anji.
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਯੂਕੇ ਦੀ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਪੀੜ੍ਹੀ ਆ
ਜੀ
ਉਹਨੂੰ ਸਾਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਕਰਾਹੇ ਪਾਇਆ
ਜੀ
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਤੋਂ ਤੋੜ ਕੇ LGBTQ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਇਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਲਾਇਆ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਜਥੇਬੰਦੀਆਂ ਬਣਾਈਆਂ ਫਿਰਦੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਆ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਤੇ ਪੰਥ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਗਰਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਤੇ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਭਵਿੱਖ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਆ ਜਿਹਨੇ ਗਾਂ ਆਉਣਾ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ
ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਜੀ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਨਛੱਤਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੀ ਵਿਚਾਰ ਹੈ ਇਹਦੇ ਤੇ ਬੱਚਾ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਆਪਣੇ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਫੁੱਟਬਾਲਰ ਸੀਗਾ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹੈਲੋ ਨਛੱਤਰ ਸਿੰਘ
I think it's dropped. His connection's dropped.
Yeah, I think it's frozen. He's coming now. He's left now. I think he's just. I think he's had an technical issue. Yeah. So sorry for interrupting Canva earlier. Is he still there? Does he want to finish off?
Yes. Yeah. So just like I was trying to make a point, right? Our community is so used to getting oppressed, right? That these situations in a whole Gomi matter don't seem that big to us, but these issues are very big. We're so used to getting oppressed, right, that we've come, we're not sensitive to these topics no more. And that's a major concern in the whole community, I feel like.
How can we be concerned? How can we make ourselves more concerned about it and get other people to be more concerned about it? How can we tackle that issue? Because right now people just the way I see it is a lot of people just don't care about anything anymore. It's just like since this lockdown happened, people have just broken away from community. Anything that happens, people just like, oh, you know what? Oh, it's got nothing to do with me. So why should I be concerned about it? Do you think there's that sort of attitude amongst people?
You know, until we don't get reconnected to our Sikh roots, right, we'll never be able to have Gomi Dard, to be honest.
I would like to add on to that point. I feel like with our people, we need to be more educated on Sikhi, on our culture, on our whole dharm, on our gurus. So especially the Najwan as well and the elders, they need to look into our history. So there's so many sources and we can't say that now, you know what, there's no way for us to learn anything because the sources have improved a lot. So I'll give you an example. So there's a Pant Prakash book which was written and there's many people that do Gatha, like such as Gyani Sher Singh, that do very good intensive Gatha of it, not just in Punjabi but little bits in English as well. They try to get the Najwan to understand. So when we find out, actually understand what our Qawm is meant to be like, what things Singli are meant to be like, then we'll understand that how lost we've become as a Pant. Sorry, I think Cameron's got a point as well.
So the main issue I see, right, is the type of prachar we're getting here in Gurdwaras, right? We're not getting the correct type of prachar. So I'll give you an example of India, right? Before this, the prachar in India was talking about all these Babe, they was making us do Vaiguru. That's good. I'm not disregarding it is good, it's needed. But we're more than that, we're warriors as well, right? And once we started doing the correct prachar, right? For example, in India, correct prachar is being done right now. You see the youth all getting along with it, all joining the Sikh way of life, right? And getting reconnected. I feel like here when we go to Gurdwaras, right, we're not really taught who we are. We're taught the bare minimum, and we're made to look like we're just here to do good. But we're more than that. We're here to like stand up for righteousness and everything, right? We are like the saviors. We are the army of the world, to be honest. And that's what our people need to realize.
we need to recognize what we are and who we are and where we come from. That's what you're trying to say. I think we're kind of lost. We got Gurcharan Singh with us as well from Dal Khalsa. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Gurcharan Singh.
Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Gurcharan Singh, what's your views on this incident that occurred a couple of days ago? This footballer, Apna Charan Singh, your Gurcharan Singh, he's Charan Singh, very similar. He was attacked. You know, he was insulted. His patka was pulled. You know, he's mocked, and then he lashed back. You know, to us, what is that? You know, if that was me, I'd probably done the same thing. But there's people out there that are tweeting, and there's people out there that are messaging saying, "Oh, this is wrong." You know, it's a form of violence. Yeah, but you know, the referee had disregard for the incident that happened as well. He gave out 2 cards and he got him off the pitch. What do you think on that? You know, and our organizations in the UK, they're very slow on retaliating to these sort of things. You know, something's happened, and it's not the first time. Last year, in the incident where you had the old Buddha, the old Baba that was attacked, that in I think it's Manchester or somewhere up north, and you know, he was attacked and he's been disabled for life. It was a racist attack. Then you got this little Sardar Munda, I think it was in Bristol. Last couple of weeks ago, he was attacked. His bug was
thing.
Yeah, and little Singh, school kid and that. And you know, our community is just like very slow, like very, you know, not sharp anymore, very slow to react. And it's like, if these things are happening around us, then why are we not reacting to it? And you know, we've had to do this podcast because we've had so many messages. In the jade message aaya lokan to, from bibiyan, for youngsters, babyan to, bujurgan to, yaro tusi ek media chalaya hai, tusi gal karo te. And we said, you know what, we're gonna have to talk about it. And I think you rang me earlier as well and said, look, what, you know, are you guys going to do something about it? And I said, okay, bro, let's do something. And then that's why we had that discussion. You're representing Dal Khalsa. Dal Khalsa is a UK organization as well as back in home in Punjab, who represent the Sikhs. What's your views, brother? What do you want to say to us? What do you want to say to the community out there?
I think the problem starts with the structure. Really, what we have is an issue. What we are saying is the number of hate crimes or attacks on the Sikhs are on the rise, nearly 170%. And one of the biggest problems is there's a complete absence of credible politicians willing to actually make that point anywhere. Really, we have a couple of our MPs now. You know, I wouldn't say they are doing a bad job, but the problem is they do better representations when it comes to their political affairs of other communities when it comes to our own. So this is where something we need to look at. And as far as the organizations are concerned, I think there is an issue regarding the Sikh identity in these so-called organizations, and you can look into any really. There is this sense, I think, not only you as a youth group or the youth generation in generally feeling, but these so-called organizations which we have in the UK, they're so heavily influenced by left-wing politics that they are actually, they're actually afraid of the Sikh identity. And that is one of the main reasons that they're unwilling. They are, you know, the problem with these organizations, they are in such a left-wing mindset. They want to be seen as do-gooders and being in generally as somebody who stands for general community rather than stand for their own self. And when it comes to Sikh-only issues, they are terrified of engaging, and secondly, they are terrified of identifying themselves as Sikhs. And that is one of the, you know, idealistic reasons why we have this situation where there is so many incidents, and they are on the increase. We as a community really, as a Panth, really have to get our ideology in shape and have to put, you know, Sikh identity and Sikh politics in front, because we have various organizations, and these organizations are doing very well financially, structural wise. But what is the point of those structures and finance when we can't even represent our own people? And I'll give you an example. I have my own team, a weightlifting team. So my son is in there, many other kids I train as well. So what kind of example are these organizations putting up for my son and these other kids? When, if my son is attacked in a similar way, nobody is there to stand up for him, rather than he has to take, that player himself should be confident enough that the community will be standing up and backing him 100%. But
Yeah.
the reason he has to behave in the way he's behaving, because he knows the Sikh as a community really, at a leadership level or a national level, are in denial of their own identity. We are struggling when it comes to Sikh politics or our own identity. These organizations are struggling, and I think that is something very to the root of the problem. We have to put the Sikh first and the Sikh identity first, and we need to create an environment where our youth need to be confident enough that the community will take their responsibility rather than blaming. We have a situation where these so-called left-leaning organizations actually blaming, a youth, a youth player who could represent eventually this country for us. We need a situation where we need to be backing him 100%, but people are questioning him. It's a very sad state of affairs.
I mean, Sikh organizations, how many we got in the UK? Probably in the hundreds.
Yeah.
And we've got, about 300 Gurdwara in the UK. And it's just that the points that you've raised, Gujaran, that, that these are failings of our community, and it's the fact that we can't even be organized for an incident
He
like
should
this.
be he should be confident that the community itself will handle this situation. He should not have to take matters into his own hand, because the problem, you see, as Sikh youth, we went through the schooling in this country and the colleges, and we felt in the same situation that he has felt. I myself, because I was doing 100-meter and 200-meter as an athlete, I was in the same situation.
We have to take
And
matters into our own hands.
we were,
Yeah,
we,
I get that. I
yeah, we
totally
were
get that.
isolated. We were
Yeah.
isolated, and I understand his position, but we shouldn't have to. We should not have to. We have these multi-million pound organizations which are running. It's their duty, and they're absolutely failing our brightest. These, what he represents is one of the brightest in our community, and quite frankly, he's been let down.
And not only him, I think maybe as we grew up around Southall and West London, we've seen other young Sikhs that were in a similar situation. And, when they turned around and they were, they asked for help, no one came forward. So they had to take matters into their own hands, whether they've ended up stabbing somebody or they've ended up killing somebody. And then they go into prison, and then that's the end of their life, really. A lot of bright Sikhs out there, but it's very unfortunate that we become easy targets for bullying and harassment at schools and outside the schools as well. And so we got Kanwar Singh and Apna Sunny with us as well.
I think Kanwar's got another point he wanted to make.
Yeah,
just I want to say one point, slightly going off topic, right? But it all relates, right, in the bigger picture. So what our community, I've seen is a big trend in our community. For other people, we'll go above and beyond. But for our own community, we won't go above and beyond.
I think we've got a technical problem there. They've just gone off. Maybe they got an internet disconnect or whatever it is. Yeah, Gacharan, it's just very saddening. I mean, look, we've had nothing but no support for this brother. There was two. I think I was watching two organizations that did come out. One is Basics of Sikhi. They came out. They tweeted something, and they said, "Look, we stand with this brother. We don't care takka hamare and no takka. We don't care. Whatever he done was right, regardless." Because there's people out there saying, "Oh, why did he react that way? You shouldn't have reacted that way." So, on the end of the day, he maybe felt that no one in this community is probably
he felt alone. Look, I want to be clear on this. He felt alone. When I used to do 100-meter, I used to be as an athlete. I've been in the situation where I completely felt alone. I was doing it by myself on my own.
But say someone went for your patka like that, what would be your response?
Well, it would be look. I have my kids training in my weightlifting team at the moment, and we are training them. And the reason, we spend a lot of time with them and around them is because we don't want them to be in that situation. Because I felt, look, I don't want to, I would talk about first-hand experience in this case. I felt alone in myself. And, when we talk about excellence, we are talking about excellence on the field of sport. An athlete only represents about 50%. Rest is organization.
Hello?
And if we can't provide them organization, they are going to struggle. And this is a symbol of that struggling. And when we talk about people being able to represent others and not ourselves, the reason behind that is this left-wing ideology which is prevalent within our community,
What about
and that needs
the
to be
langar,
really.
giving out,
So,
distributing langar, for example? Now, if we was
just like,
going
can
to
I finish
talk
your point,
about
please?
the
Just
langar issue, a lot of people would say,
I think Sunny wants to.
yeah,
Sunny wants
Sunny,
to.
sorry, guys. Sorry,
Anwar,
Kanno just wanted to finish
I just want
off,
to
off
finish.
his point. Sorry.
go for
So
it, brother.
basically, so see the whole situation where Baikanayaji was giving out pani to when the Mughal soldiers, right, when they were injured.
Yes,
But the fine lines, right? We gave them water, but first we defeated them, and then we gave them water, right?
yes.
These are fine lines, right? We're not
Mm,
we help everybody, right? But it doesn't mean we take a loss and then help people,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
mm,
That's a
So
good point.
so even recently, like some Singhs were asked this question, Ravi Singh, right? Okay, why is he always helping out every single other person? As Sikhs, we should, but charity begins at home.
mm,
Once we stabilize our own people, then we're in a position to help other people, right? You wouldn't go and build a house for somebody else if your own house roof is leaking. It's a simple theory,
100%.
right? That
100%.
is consideration.
That's
mm.
good. That's a good point, brother. I think the langar concept that they've been using for a while now is that,
I think I
we're
think
trying.
what it is I think the langar point is people are not really understanding the ideology. Ideology behind langar is not just blind, putting it, because what they are doing at the moment under the pretense of langar is hiding behind langar. The real ideology behind langar is Guru Nanak believes that food is a fundamental human right. But do these people, these organizations, idealistically, I challenge all of these organizations. Do they believe in human rights? First, human rights, let's be honest, is
No,
right to self-determination.
but some of the
And
langar organizations that I've spoken to, I asked them, I said, look, why are you distributing langar during Christmas? Why are you distributing langar during these sort of events and festival seasons when it's got nothing to do with the Sikh faith? Their argument was is that we're doing it to create awareness of the
publicity,
Sikh
not
identity.
awareness, it's publicity. I
Exactly.
think it's
So to
publicity.
me, obviously, we got a different point of view on it. No, I wouldn't say every
Mm,
single langar organization is the same, but most of them are. And they what they're doing is they're not creating awareness, because this shows us that there is no awareness created. If there was, if these guys were
mm,
going out and feeding people, and of all different colors and all different faiths, these sort of things in society wouldn't be happening today. And it's happening at
mm,
such a high rate that we're seeing Sikhs just being targeted every week, every other week, and we've just
mm.
become a sad story. Oh, look at these Sikhs. Oh, they got beaten up this week as well, last week as well. Oh my God, like as a
When
common occurrence.
an MP comes out within a Gurdwara and questions the 5Ks, yeah, the Gurdwaras still today have not questioned it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and that's the
Yeah.
biggest Gurdwara
Any
outside
of
of
the
Europe.
simple, yeah. None of the organizations have questioned it. Yeah, we had to organize a protest ourselves. Rather than helping us or supporting us, we were questioned why were we protesting. This is the situation that we are facing.
We was
And
even, I think we was even told that not to do the protests as well by a couple of them. They said,
we
don't
were
do the
threatened. We were threatened, actually. I was, phone called and threatened, but that's a different story. But I think what we really need to look into, I think the mindset is, I think where the leadership really is struggling. The reason Deep Sidhu was assassinated is because he brought a new brand of political idealism. And what the Indian state uh, did is try to kill that idealism off. They want us to be stuck in this mindset of this Indian mindset of being Bhagat Singh and Indian nationalism, and have never ever have your own identity. And until we are strong in our own identity, we are going to have these problems. And all of these organizations, they are scared of identifying themselves as Sikh. The only time they claim Sikhism is when they need to raise money. When they don't need to raise money, Sikhism is out of the window. Then they are for everybody. We love everybody. We like to get beaten up by everybody. We like to get abused by we are not open to abuse. And langar, giving out langar does not mean that we are open to abuse. And the Gurdwaras themselves need to have a little look into that. Open the door to help people, but not open the door to let them abuse you. And this is where we are really, and that's where idealistically we're really struggling today.
I agree.
Sunny, you guys want to, Kanwar, you want to add something to that? Or?
Yeah, so I think the whole problem, to be honest, stems from langar, because we don't understand the real concept of langar. If we don't have strong foundations, right, how can we do good in, good to everybody else, good to other communities when we're weak ourselves? So really and truly, I think, right, as AK Media, first thing we should do, right, is stop thinking, how we're gonna make the FA aware or make everyone else aware. I think we need to educate our own people. Secondly, I think we need to question big people such as Ravi Singh, Khalsa Aid, right? Why is if Daswand is going to Khalsa Aid, right? He should be looking after Sikh matters firstly and foremost, right? For example, right, Pakistan, right, is going through a major crisis right now. They had floods, the economy is demolished pretty much, right? They're splitting in four different sections now. Pakistan is going through a civil war right now, right? So their prime minister, their head of finance, went to Abu Dhabi and other Arab countries asking for aid, right? These are all Islamic countries, fair enough, right? And all these Islamic countries came to the help of Pakistan, right? To help them.
Yes.
Sikhs, we don't have no country. We have no one to help us. If something happens in Punjab, no other country is going to come and give us fundings. For example, let's say farmers, right? When it rains too much or it doesn't rain, our fasal, our wheat, our grain gets ruined. Nobody helps us. Indian government promises us with other subsidiaries
Or loans.
loans and stuff they'll give us, right? But we don't get them. So Khalsa
Pesticides and
Aid
all
should
that,
actually be helping our Daswan should be being put in the right places. And as AK Media, I really think it's important that we sort our own internal issues out first before we go sort out other topics, right? So instead of there's a speech, right, Amrit Pal, right, spoke about Ravi Singh, and they said, why isn't he helping out Punjab? Why is there people converting to other religions? Fair enough. If you want to convert, right, no problem. Everyone's allowed to do what they want. But is under what basis are they converting under? Because they need food, they need shelter. Where is our Daswand going? Why are we not questioning Ravi Singh? Why is he not helping our people? He's
I think
that's a big question.
20% of our budget to going to Punjab or going to our Sikh faith, right? But 80% is going to other people, right? We can only help other people once if we're going to.
I think I can give an example here. I think I can give an example here of either Seva Charity, and Seva Charity gathers around. I think the last figures that when they got into trouble, the government released was around 100 million pounds in the UK. Out of that 100 million, you'd be surprised that majority of that went into either their core organization in Gujarat or their their idealistic base. So majority of their funding went to about 95%. Only 5% of their funding went into this propagation or propaganda of saying that Seva Charity works with other communities. But the problem with ours is, so-called charities or so-called these charities we have, they give 95% out to the others for propaganda. Oh, I'm good. And only 5% goes into where it's needed. And the problem with that is, I think, which we really need to look into is, where is the head at really? Where are these people when it comes to their ideology? And this is where the problem is, because it should be the other way around. I totally agree. 95% should be going into our own, and 5% to, when we are talking about Jassa, we need to be a little bit more open as to the nature of what these organizations and what they're meant to be.
So basically,
95% should go into the community and 5% into the propagation. It's gone the other way around within our community.
guys, so 2 minutes, right? I've got no personal agenda, but so this topic was, portrayed to Ravi Singh, why is he not helping our people? So instead of, Gom they started talking about it, he posted a post on Instagram saying Rambo, first langar everywhere. Yeah, he's fighting wars, langars in other countries. But why is he not fighting the war? Why is he not helping our people at home so our people can starve, right? But he's feeding everyone else. So he's making it's like for example, Paikanayaji, right? First, if Paikanayaji started feeding the Mughal soldiers with water, food, good food, making them healthy, right, and taking food our own Sikh, right, we would have lost the war. Do you understand? The one we won. So my point is, right, first our soldiers need to be fed, and then we'll feed everyone. Yeah. So this is.
Do you know, Kanwa? You know the country thing as well you mentioned earlier. If you got a country standing behind you, you got much more political power in the world, and people would fear you in a way as well.
100%.
So you
Could
know
I
when
add
they
to that
see
point?
when they see a turban Sikh and they get attacked, maybe to people it's like, oh yeah, they're just some Indians, you know what I mean, like
Whatever.
whatever,
Yeah.
like
They
we're
don't have like
losers,
an
innit?
actual
Who cares?
identity.
They don't know
Like,
that the
lot-
Sikhs, what our history is, what we're really about. If it comes down to it, we would, I mean, they need to know, innit? And I think that Singh, the one that was attacked, he kind of showed it as well. That to me, I will never praise violence in any form. But if someone came to me and grabbed my turban or something like that, I'll probably go 10 times worse than what he did. You know what I mean?
I think what we really have to address is this sense of isolation, because these youth, look, we need to be clear, he could be representing the English team. The problem is he is being put into a situation where he feels isolated enough that, okay, my community and anybody else around me is not even going to recognize the issue of what's happening. Could you imagine this happening to a black player, his color being questioned and there be nothing done? Come on, man. Or any other thing, because the problem is they have. So I'll give you an example. As we are talking about these so-called charities, these so-called charities jump up and down with BLM and XR and all these other crazy organizations. And these organizations are very radical in nature. BLM is very radical in nature, and these organizations have no problem supporting them, funding them, standing with them. When it comes to Sikh identity, these people have a huge problem. That is something need to be really looked into.
Yeah, I think that I think we need to sum up what we could be doing to move forward with this today. I think the actual the conversation's actually probably kind of dragged us. We did say 20 minutes, we decided, but it's gone into 43 minutes. So just sticking to the topic, I think everyone needs to conclude what they think needs to be done moving forward, with a few words, and so our viewers get understanding what this podcast was about today. We have gone a little bit off topic, I know, but at the same time, a lot of that stuff was relevant to what we was talking about, because these sort of incidents don't just happen overnight. They, it's so many years of many people not doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is kind of made us make up our own media outlets and talk about it. We all got families, we all got children, we all got families, and we would rather be sitting with them inside. But sometimes duty calls, and what is important is this, because we need to safeguard our community, and we need to be. If no one else is going to be in charge, then we're going to have to take charge. That's the way forward. I mean, and we will be talking about this sort of stuff, and it's so. Going on, Gujaran, I mean, Sunny, you want to finish off? You want to say what you and Kanwa wants to say, and just say, look, this is what we think needs to be done, whether it's awareness, whether it's action.
So I feel like, firstly, we need to take pride in who we are. We need to remember who we are. We need to we need to be educated on who we are as well. So and awareness, and at the same time, we usually need empowerment. We need to empower not just ourselves but each other as Sikhs, because I feel like a lot of Sikhs, they drag each other down. And one thing I would like to mention is that cool, there are people might like some Sikhs might have personal problems with each other, but we need to forget about them and focus on the Bantic problems, because the Bantic problems are much more bigger than our own personal problems with each other. If we keep beefing each other or whatnot, we're not going to get anywhere. Organizations don't want to work with each other. We need to come to some sort of compromisation where we could build a solid foundation for not just our generation, but for the generations coming up. And I think Candle's got some points as well.
Yes,
So,
Kanwa.
to summarize, I want to say one thing, right? If we take ownership of our own organizations and put them on the right track, for example, Havelock Committee, Gurdwara Committee South, biggest Gurdwara in England, right? Khalsa Aid, world-renowned charity, right? If these organizations were truly Bantic, right, we would have a platform to raise awareness, right? They could have questioned the FA, why is this happening, right? But right now it feels like as it Sikhs, we're all individuals. We're fighting. So Darren Singh was fighting his own battle. No organization is there to help him, and that's our biggest flaw. That our organizations don't come to our own rescue. So firstly and initially, we need to take care of our own organizations. Then we can fight a bigger battle. Otherwise, we can't. Because fighting by yourself against big organizations is not going to happen. Black Lives Matter, that campaign went on, right? Everyone came together. They put throughout the world that campaign what happened, right? America, England, Canada, every single country, because their organizations supported the cause. Our organizations don't support the cause. We're fighting an individual battle. Everyone is fighting for their own turban, but nobody else is fighting. No organization is fighting with them. So it's a losing battle.
Solid points. Solid points. Yeah, do you know what you've just mentioned? I think you've summed up the whole show really with those points, Sunny and Canva. But so, Gajaran, what's the summary for today? Then what's the conclusion, my brother?
I think we're looking at some sort of just like the Jewish anti-Semitic alliance system. I think we definitely need a system as such, really, where there is enough legal and political structure there to help all of our youth, really, where they are confident enough. Okay, this guy had approached me in such a way, just approach to that that legal system, and everything would be done. We will need to form such a body, really, where so in the anti-Semitic alliance they have a legal team and they have a political team which manages all these affairs, and it provides a background and everything support which a Jewish person will need when it comes to any because this is and the problem is, you see, I think the bigger problem I can just say is that we really need to be careful because we stand out. There is only two ways: either you like us or you don't. And people who don't like us are throughout our existence are going to come and confront us. And this bowing down on our knees is not, as a policy, is not going to work. We need to be able to confront those people who have an agenda, have a deliberate agenda, or want to confront us or to test us all the time. And that's where we will need a structure. And this is where we as a youth groups, I think, as we will become youth groups like yours, and your media will become a leading voice and a leading structure, you will have to form these alliances to tackle the communities. It's not about hiding in the Gurdwara and just economics has no meaning. Let me just give you a background. Sikhs were in Singapore, Sikhs were in Shanghai, Sikhs were in Afghanistan, very financially well off, and multiple institutions. The reason they all now have evaporated because the Panth itself was not strong enough to sustain them. And we will really have to look at that situation in the Western countries. Finance means nothing. Buildings mean nothing without the Panth. If the Panth is not there to back and support these institutions as empty buildings mean nothing. We need to invest into the Panth and the ideology of the Panth, and we need to these are diamonds of our nation, these youth like that, because him becoming a national level player or an international level player will so much good for the Panth. And we need 100% support of these kind of youth, really, that they should be confident enough that we will always be in their corner.
What sort of initiative is Dal Khalsa going to be taking on the matter?
Well, what we are doing is we have our legal team, and we, as far as Jill and Perry is concerned, they are available. And if the legal assistance was needed, we have always done what we can with our legal team, because our team is rather small, so it has about 5 or 6 experienced personnel, so they do provide assistance. So that assistance is always there for anybody in this kind of scenario. But I think what we will need is a bigger team, and so we can, it's not just an issue of having a case filed within a court against the FA, or having it going through the legal procedure. The community as a whole need to be able to, when it comes to an issue like this, really speedily get on a single platform. Forget about your individual ideas and who you like or who you don't like. That means nothing, really. Your self importance really has no place. There is no place for the self or your organization within the Panth. In Panth, there is no I. There is only the Panth, and that's what something we need to understand. And we need to commit 100% to the Panth.
True.
I think when Dal Khalsa started, together, we've been working together for a while. I think we've known each other for 20 odd years. And this is my conclusion on the matter. AK Media was set up not by myself, by a group of individuals that are youngsters from Southall, who felt that the media in itself wasn't representing the Sikh community in a positive way, and there was a lot that needed to be done. So AK Media came about with that sort of idea in place, as well as Dal Khalsa itself, UK. As we know that you guys have been representing the Sikh community for a very long time, maybe 20 odd years. Prior to that, it was Mamoon Singh, Sikh Muslim Federation. He gave a lot to the cause, and to bring awareness of Sikhs around the world. And I mean, these organizations that we've just set up recently, well, AK Media has just been recently, but we have been working with yourself for a long time.
I think one thing I will say about AK Media is, I think what you need to understand is, because the brand and the ideology you're preaching, you represent a majority point of view. Don't ever underestimate this idea that somehow you as media are somehow isolated or on your own. You are representing the mainstream point of view in many sense, because you're not a religious extremist or any fanatic organization. You're representing the mainstream of Sikh ideas. It will take time, but as wider the message goes across, that's why I will call on all to share this voice and this media as far as they can, so we can expand the voice and expand our footprint, so people begin to listen and understand what our point of view is.
Thank you. I think we can finish the show off today. I think we've covered pretty much the whole topic, and hopefully there's people out there that have listened, and we've kind of told them a story today which is helpful for them to understand what's happened, and what needs to be done about this situation that has happened over the past couple of days. We've had a few viewpoints. We've had two youngsters, Sunny and Kanwar, who are local to the area, who play football regularly. And we got Gajaran Singh from Dal Khalsa, who's been involved in community projects for a very long time. And he's a community leader in the West London area. And myself from AK Media, just part of the team, doing my seva, trying to create awareness, tell people about issues that are happening in the local area and in the UK and abroad in Punjab. Any sort of issues, we would like for you guys to reach out to Dal Khalsa, to AK Media, You know, we're here for you guys. If you ever have any issues, if there's ever a problem, whichever country it is, we'll be your voice. We'll speak up for you. We'll take out time. We're not going to back away. If there's a protest that needs to be organized, we'll organize it for you guys. If there's an incident that happens where there's anything that's involved in the bug, the star, the patka, you know, any sort of harassment, any BBs being harassed, we'll be there. We're not hesitating. We'll be there. We're those type of groups that will, you know, they won't just sit there on the borderline and just watch people, you know, having issues and all that. We'll be the ones that will come out and we'll make the difference. And we can give you our word today that we're those type of people. I think we've finished up today, Gujaran. So shall we just finish on Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa,
Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.